Hey there, welcome to this Friday live edition of the Certified Badass Online Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Klink, and I'm excited for today's show because I'm going to bring back something that I really enjoy doing, which is called Bobby Ruins Marketing. I was doing these on Mondays for a while, and we probably are going to bring some of them back in the new year. But today I thought, I really need to do one of these Bobby Ruins marketing moments. And specifically today, since today is Black Friday, I'm going to ruin Black Friday. Sorry for you if you don't want to hear that, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ruin Black Friday so that you have a sense both as a marketer, but also as a consumer how to view Black Friday, because I think there's a lot of things that kind of don't go well. And so I want to make sure that I've got you thinking about this the right way. So that's what we've got in store. Now let's chat very briefly about Black Friday. Let's talk about kind of, the idea behind it and all that. And I want to talk about some things because I think it's going to help you to understand and think this thing through. And I have lots of stories of my life where I did Black Friday. I used to do it. I used to be the crazy guy. I'd go to Best Buy. I think it was Comp USA. It was Comp. No. It was, I keep blank on the name, but there was Circuit City. Yeah. Circuit City was this other thing. So like I would go to Best Buy the first few years that I would do it. And then like Best Buy was just way too crowded, but you can go to Circuit City and no one was there. And so I started doing these things because they would have these ridiculously low price deals. And so I would go and I would buy like a computer and I'd buy the cheapest laptop they had. Now those things never lasted me more than about 18 months. They would always go bad, but I would also walk out of the store with a lot of other stuff. And so I know a lot about Black Friday, and I'll tell you, I ran a Black Friday sale once in the traditional way as an online marketer, and I will never do it again. And so with that, I want to talk to you for a second about why Black Friday sales are not a good idea for you as a marketer or for you as a consumer. And so I want to kind of step back and think about it. So I'm going to start with you as a consumer, because I think thinking about this as a consumer in a lot of ways affects how we should be viewing it as marketers. So as consumers, I want to kind of talk for a second about what happens on Black Friday. On Black Friday, we often as consumers get carried away and basically start just buying up all kinds of stuff. And we get drawn in often with some really good deal, at the Best Buys of the world, the Circuit Cities, the Targets, the Walmarts. Often it's some really cheap electronics, and maybe it's a flat screen TV, maybe it's a laptop or something like that. But we get drawn in, and then we end up buying a bunch of other stuff. And I did that many times, and I did it places where it used to be this thing where you were going to get a rebate and you had to set it in. I never sent those in, but I would also end up buying a bunch of random stuff. I would buy myself cables and cords and God only knows what. And so I went in to buy a $200 computer, and I would walk out having spent $1,500 or something like that. And what just happened? And I want to say that happens. But then the other thing that happens is a lot of times we buy other stuff that looks cheap, but we don't need it right then. But we're but it's a good deal, so I should buy it. And I am a king of this. If something's a good deal, I'm I want it. I love deals, and I'll do those things. And so that's kind of the mentality. And so what ends up happening a lot of times is we buy things that we don't need, that we'll never use because they're on sale. And when I look at that, I say, that doesn't exactly sound like, something that's good for me as a consumer. And so I'm kind of I have a new rule, I buy things on Black Friday, but I never really go out. But I will buy things online on Black Friday. I've already invested in a couple of things. But here's the difference. What I buy as a consumer now on Black Friday is not some random thing that I see an ad for, or somebody who's selling me a $27 this or a $37 that, or some bundle of stuff I've never heard of. Instead, I approach Black Friday from the perspective of, are there things that I have been wanting to invest in that I know I will use, that I'm going to use Black Friday, number one, as the reason to buy it, but also as the motivation to take the action. So it's kind of both of those things is what I'm looking to do. And I will tell you, and Katie, my integrator, will, I don't think she'll be mad at me for letting this cat out of the bag. We have been tinkering with the idea of moving a lot of our tech stack off of Kartra for a while. We've been tinkering for a few different reasons. We're not going to do it right now because candidly, I've got a virtual event coming up next weekend. And so now is not the time to be doing those things writ large, but we have been tinkering. There've been problems, there've been issues. And as you can imagine, that has a lot of moving parts. And we had we'd done some work. We'd identified two different course platforms that we were going to pick between. We had picked the cart system that we thought, yep, that's the cart system we want to use. And then we had picked the email provider that we said, hey, if we're going to move, this is the email provider we're going to use. And so we had already identified those. And so coming into this Black Friday, I was like, let me just see if any of those are on sale. And sure enough, the course platform that was my favorite and that was in the running for the final two had a 30 or 35% off sale. So I snapped that baby up because I'm like, why not? And, the cart system, yep, they had a deal. So I bought that one. And so I used Black Friday as a reason to buy things that I already needed, already wanted. I just hadn't pulled the trigger on. And in some ways, this will kind of make Katie, my integrator, happy because it will accelerate the pace at which we will make this move. So we stop thinking about it and talking about it and planning it, but not moving, right? Because now that I'm like, hey, I've invested the money, we're going to actually do the work. And so that's kind of what I want you thinking about. Like, I don't know about you as a consumer, but that's the thing. Like, I will see all these people saying, who's heard a great deal on Black Friday? And I'm like, to me, that's a crazy question to ask because a great deal to one person is a waste to someone else, right? I mean, I don't need a course or a program about a lot of different things, but other people might. And so you should be looking at it as a consumer from what do I need and are there deals? And if so, grab them. But I want us to stop thinking, let's just throw money away and do stuff. But I also think there's something to what I said there, hopefully that you got, which is like, if I've never heard of a product, if I've never heard of a bundle, if like not a bundle, like the stuff inside of it, like if someone that I know and follow like sends me something and like they've taken apart something and put together some random bundle and that, I'm like, no, no, because I don't want to have to wade through it and think through it and do all that. That doesn't make sense to me. But if there was if there were a course that I was looking forward to, and like, let's say someone had like multiple things that I was looking forward to and just hadn't pulled the trigger on yet, and they bundled it up and did a deal, I'd be like, sure, no brainer, let's do it. And so that's how I look at it as a consumer. Okay. So that's how I think you should look at it as a consumer. Don't just go start spending money. And I'm talking consumer here. Look, do what you want in your personal life. I'm talking about as a business owner. When you're thinking through what are you going to purchase, what investments are you going to make, as an entrepreneur on Black Friday through Cyber Monday, that's how I think you ought to approach it. Because I'll just be clear, we can get spend crazy and we can spend a lot of money on stuff we never use that doesn't do us any good. Let's not do that anymore. So that's kind of as a buyer. Now let's talk about it as a marketer because I think this should affect things. Again, the pressure on us as entrepreneurs, as marketers, is to kind of follow the path that like the big box store set, like the Best Buys of the deal set, which is to have some like dirt cheap offer out there. And, basically people want us to have our equivalent of, back in the days when like you couldn't get a flat screen TV for under $1,000 and suddenly on Black Friday, you could get one for like, $399 or $279 or something crazy like that. Which again, when I used to go Black Friday shopping, that's like what I would do. Like I would look for those kinds of deals. And the problem with that model for us is, well, there's a couple things. Number one, we don't have like one-off products normally. We have like, a set number of products, right? And so our choice, if we want to do that, is to give like 75% off of our regular price. I'm just going to tell you, that's not a good idea. If you get like a reputation as someone who discounts all the time, guess what? I joke, you turn into Joseph A. Bank. And Joseph A. Bank, I used to buy suits there, and I used to buy shirts there when I was a practicing lawyer, mainly because their shirts, they had some of the best non-iron, like you throw it in the dryer and pull it out, and it's wrinkle-free kind of shirts that you could find. But I also was always cautious about buying from them because I knew that they always had some other sale. And if it wasn't like buy two or buy one, get two free, or buy one, get three free, I just wouldn't even think about buying there. And I don't want that reputation as a marketer, and you shouldn't want that either. So avoid doing that. And again, understand that this model of the Black Friday sale comes from a concept known as as a loss leader. Like Best Buy doesn't make money, or didn't make money. I don't know if, how they're doing it now, but back in the old days when they would sell things at like 75% off, they were not making money on that TV. They were probably losing money on that TV. And they only had a few of them in stock, but it got a lot of people through the doors. It got a lot of traffic, so then people bought other stuff. Well, with you and me, we don't have that model. People aren't coming into a physical store. People aren't thinking, okay, I couldn't get that, but maybe I should get this one instead. Or, oh, they've sold out of the really good deal, but I can buy this other one, which isn't quite as good a deal as that. That's just not how it's going to work in our world, right? Because we don't have a physical store. For the most part, we're sending people to a dedicated sales page, not to a shop of any kind. And so, like, the loss leader, have something super cheap, doesn't work. And so discounting one of your signature things to some huge discount to get people through the door is not a good way to go. So that then leads to the other idea that is out there, which is this like random bundle crap that I hear. And people teach this. And again, they'll basically say, come up with a bundle of stuff, and in traditional online marketing fashion, give these values and then charge 1/10 of the price or 1/20th of the price or some like 95% off. Literally, I've heard people say 95% off. Of course, that's 95% off of made up values that have no reality. But the bigger thing is that really what they're teaching is put together a bunch of stuff, like stuff you don't really sell, that you don't even have available, not your signature stuff, because they know you shouldn't be discounting your signature stuff. So you put together these random like Black Friday bundles and then do it at a discount. And here's my question. How the heck does that serve our audience? To me, it doesn't. To me, like, I have been thoughtful in putting together my products. I have been thoughtful in creating offerings. I'm not randomly doing stuff. So I'm not going to randomly throw a bunch of crap together and call it a bundle. That doesn't make sense to me. If something is that good, I'd be selling it all the time. I don't have a bunch of stuff just sitting on the shelf that I can say like, oh, well, this is a wonderful product that will help my people. Let me throw it into a bundle, but I don't sell it normally. That is not the way I operate, and I hope it's not the way you operate. So trying to sell people that kind of like random hodgepodge BS is not going to actually serve them. So don't do that. And again, the reason why people do that is in a quest to have some dirt cheap offer, like to have some $27 offer or something to get people in the door. And then, by the way, many of them will then have an upsell and an upsell and an upsell. But again, I just don't want to do it that way. I'm going to be transparent. That's not the way I'm going to operate on this. So if you're on my email list, you saw my email this morning. But if not, I'm just going to tell you, I chose to do something completely different, basically to go the opposite of the normal route. Instead of trying to come up with a cheap offer that I could make to people, I said, well, everybody's going that route. Everyone is going to go cheap. Maybe I should go expensive. And again, this is typical me fashion of saying whatever everybody else is doing, I'm going to go the opposite way. But in thinking it through, I decided this is also the best way to serve my audience. So instead of packaging a bunch of random crap together and making it cheap, I said, why don't I package some signature stuff together, charge more than I ever charge for any individual product on my website any day of the week, but give it to people at a deal. I was like, that sounds like something Bobby would do. So, and again, I'm telling you this, look, if you want to go buy it, you can, but this isn't about getting you to buy my stuff. This is about how I want you to be thinking about stuff when you're going to do promos. One of the rules I say for promos is don't discount, add value. And so we've done this before where we like added a free ticket to my my virtual event to people who bought one of my signature products. Like that's something we've done in the past. So what we decided to do this time was we said, well, let's take my signature legal offer, my legal template, which is $1,000. Let's take my signature business stuff offer, which is my email course, which is $1,000. Again, those literally are website, or they're available for purchase right now, every day of the week for $9.97, but I'm calling it $1,000. And then let's throw in a ticket to my live event for the VIP ticket, which is a $500 ticket. So I said, let's just put all that together and then give a discount. And so that's what we did. And it's available for $1,497, $1,500. And we did that because I said, look, if people have been sitting around saying, hey, I'd really like Bobby's legal templates, I'd really like his email course, but I'm not ready yet. I do want to give them a reason to do it, a reason to take action. Now, the point of this is not to be, and let me be clear, I'm being very intentional. I don't want to price it at a point that a bunch of people who don't need or want this stuff are going to buy it. My point is to give this limited promotion period at a discount where kind of an urgency or scarcity actually makes sense, because I don't think a lot of people, I'm not doing a launch, there's nothing, nobody's going to come to my website and all of a sudden have FOMO and buy when they don't need these things. Instead, I'm using it as a way to give a bump to people who might just need the little bump to take action. And that's how I would suggest you approach Black Friday or any other promos you want to do. If you want to do a promo at the end of the year, if you want to do a promo any other time of the year, I'm just going to suggest you think about it this way. How can I put together a meaningful package of products that adds value and maybe give some kind of, because it's a bundle discount, because, hey, I'm going to make more because they're going to buy a bunch of stuff, not just one thing, but gives people the incentive to take action now. And that is how I believe we should be thinking about promos, because it's not based upon, kind of a FOMO mindset. And more importantly, the way I look at it, it's the best way to serve my audience, because I actually get people who are ready to take action. Again, my view of marketing is that my job is to put the right offer in front of the right person at the right time. And that means that I need to be thoughtful about how I do this. And so that's how we constructed our offer. And I would encourage anyone who's thinking about doing promotions, and again, I probably should have done this before Black Friday. It would have made more sense to tell people how to do a Black Friday promo, but I just couldn't help myself, because as I was seeing all of these deals happen, I was like, some of this is just, ugh. It made no sense. And so I wanted to do this episode to provide some insight to people. So that's what I got for you. That's how I'm ruining Black Friday for you. Don't buy something that you've never heard about the stuff before Black Friday or before the buzz. Don't let the buzz get you. Don't spend a bunch of money for no reason. Be intentional as a buyer, but then also as a marketer, if you're going to do it, be intentional about creating an offer that serves your people. If you'll do that, Black Friday, will help to kind of set you up for the long term. So that's all I got. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you again next week.